Gently closing eyes, full focus into your internal self. When the eyes are open, then our eyes awaken a stream of thoughts in our head. Whatever the eyes land on, it creates whatever our eyes land on, it creates thoughts. So when our eyes are closed, we only then can we focus into the internal self. Now, the outer world is becoming is going through a huge catharsis. The external world that we live in is going through a huge change in everything. And it is very much in your face, sort of. It's not subtle. It's very much in your face. There's very less amount of open-heartedness, let's say, because people have masks on their faces. So in a way, it is good for people like me. I look better with my everything covered. So it's good for people like me. But most of the people also put up a mask in their hearts. And that makes more and more people feeling a loss of connectivity with others, leading to a sharp increase in depression and suicides. A very sharp increase. So much so, the increase in depression is so great, leading to a corresponding change in the number of suicides, which usually is for that every 42 seconds, someone is committing a suicide. That now they're coming up with a like a 911 number like scheme for those, so that on the verge, those people who are on the verge, they can be saved. Because a lot of times people who are suicidal just want to talk so that they have a line of communication open. When our faces are masked, our hearts are masked, we isolate ourselves from others, and others are isolated from us, and this leads to a direct depression. So we live in very challenging times. It's very different things are happening, and sometimes, a lot of times, I cannot relate to it. So I try not to make a big deal of the external world, but your inner world should always be having a sense of harmony. No matter what happens in the external world, your inner self has always got to be having an achievement of harmony. If life was easy, everything is hunky-dory, you're making money, you have a relationship, you have all the attributes of life and success as our society considers it. And right these days, success is considered to be, if you have more money or if you have more relationships, then you are considered to be successful. But if you are considered successful, then success is not equal to harmony inside, it's not equal to joy inside. So a lot of times, even though our society has progressed to a point where a lot of people have a lot of thingies, almost I went to India, even the beggars, I don't think it was an iPhone, but they did have smartphones, even the beggars, etc. Everyone was talking endlessly. And India is one of the poorest places. So you have a lot of investment and you have all these data plans and all that, even in a place like India. So people have more thingies, but the level of depression, the level of suicides that is happening right now is huge. So just the problems of the planet have not been resolved by having more things. The external world is becoming more and more going off the, in my opinion. And I had I had an Indian background, so I have an Indian background, so it was very conservative, but it was never as surreal as right now. On the Netflix right now, one of the movies out there is Prom, and it highlights the heroism. And I don't really care for politics or being right or wrong, so it highlights the heroism of a girl who says, I want to take another girl to a prom. Good, she's able to express her this, etc. But to make a whole freaking movie and Broadway about someone who says, I want to sleep with this sort of person, it's not really heroic. It's not. Anything to do with your sexual urges is okay. You have it, you don't have it. But our society nowadays is making such a big deal that this person was gay and she asked the school committee that I want to take to the prom, and the prom got cancelled. And now whole movie and the Broadway and the press is covering, and the people are stressed or worse stressed about this question. So on one hand, our society is giving more and more toys like cell phones, even to the poorest of poor, so that they have a communication. On the other hand, this communication, etc., is not really removing that sense of isolation and not creating harmony inside most of the people. So that things like depression and suicides are going up. So what now if like it's come to a point where I'm very ashamed to be heterosexual, etc., because what's so great about being a heterosexual or loving woman? Nothing great. Like it's now even demeaning. I'm in the midst of a job search, and you have to put it down. And I always feel that if I could write, I am part of the, like, I'm not heterosexual, then I always have a feeling that my job chances would be going up. You know, so it's and I feel discriminated against because so what? It's because, but if you are gay or something, then it is heroic. You have the sex that you want, and society, or rather the image makers, consider that that's an heroic act. Maybe it takes bravery to say, I'm gay. Maybe. I don't think nowadays. My daughter has a lot of, goes to a school. She's 18. When she was in the school, she was 18. They were very informal, and I tried my best not to give out an expression when she introduced me to her gay friends, etc., etc. Oh, this is a couple. Okay, it's the new norm. It's the new normal. So if it's the new normal, there is no heroism in it. But our society has got this fixation, fighting with the sexual desire, when the sexual desire should and is there for a reason on the planet. The sexual desire is there in the planet. So there has to be a reason. If I was to tell to each one of you, okay, now you are going to be inheriting this planet Earth. You will have all the Ferraris, all the buildings, everything, but no sex, no love. You can have all the chocolates you want. You can come on this planet, have all the chocolates, have all the caviar, have all the champagne, but no sex, no love. So how many of you all, how many, if I was to come up again, because more and more people are joining, if I was to ask you a question, that you have everything, this whole planet Earth, you are the king or queen, but there is no sex. You have all the chocolates, you have everything else that you want to have. You can have all the cars, all the houses belong to you. All the carpets belong to you. All the toys belong to you. All the cell phones belong to you. Right now, this iPhone 12, you are going to be having in your hand always the iPhone 14. Right now, everyone is talking about Tesla. You will always have the latest, the future Tesla. But you're not going to be having any sex. No sex, no love. I repeat the words. How many of you would say, oh, I still would come to this planet? I have my doubts. But today is lesson 6. So the first lesson on the way to enlightenment, to become a healing guru, was basically that the old time rituals and techniques are there, but these are very paradoxical times in which, because there are so many absurd things happening in the external world, the absurdity of the external world gives us a chance to become enlightened very fast, because it's become a much more challenging game. Our ancestors did not have so many smartphones to take away their attention, did not have endless entertainment, so that their minds would be forever in a Netflix loop or a YouTube thing. They did not have those temptations. So we have those temptations. So when we find even 5 minutes of time to focus into the internal harmony, that whichever technique you try, your intention is, I want to achieve harmony within me, because there is no, I see harmony in the outside world. It's a new world. The president who lost, whether good or bad, just said, I haven't lost it. And a new reality sort of comes up for some time. So it's a time when reality can be manipulated. So it is the time of what is known as Kali Yuga, and it has all the bad characteristics in terms that the basic parameter is that money and sex resolve everything. These are the two things that the society and everyone is moved by. So that's okay. That is the external world. Now, if I was to, the external world is always changing. The time has changed since I started to talk with you. The place has changed because the earth is rotating. And so should be your manner of thinking, your personality to which you are so attached. And the more crazier the world becomes, the less you will be tempted to seek harmony outside. So you become unconditionally and without a choice. A choicelessness is now there. In the earlier times, people could look, they had no YouTube, no Netflix, no smartphone, no internet. So they had to look at the sunset and, oh, the sunset is beautiful and this is beautiful and nature is beautiful. They were forced to discover that entertainment, and it was raw entertainment. And now we have so much amount of fakeness around that we cannot find that same length, that we cannot find that sense of harmony in the outside. So now we have forced choicelessly to go inside, deeper into yourself. And a lot of things are becoming more and more sex, money, 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 money. But we were born for love. And both sex and money, when someone is trying to get to these things, it's okay for your own needs. We live in a practical world. But if you want it beyond the norm that you can intake or that you really need, means there is something sick with your self-esteem. Your self-esteem is saying, if I'll have more money or if I'll have more relationships, then I will be having a harmony and joy. And that's what's driving you. So right now, the external world is very exciting. I call it absurd repeatedly. And it's become very harsh also. Like if you want a relationship, you can be on Tinder. When I saw it the first time, I was, oh my God, I should have been born now. And then I met people who were on Tinder and they were all of them were depressed because they were looking for love and finding only raw sex. And at a surface level, it may seem the same, but it's not. Everyone knows that. So they would be ending up getting depressed. It's just like I met some people who had the first time that I found out that the Western world, where the dollar was like in India, people are poor. So the dollar is like, when I was growing up, it was like 45. So our 45 rupees was like $1. And I saw that people are not happy, but it was a myth that people come to India to get a sense of harmony to our gurus. And sometimes one of the attributes is that the gurus can be fakes. Because anyone, including myself, can say Om 100 times. And if 10 people who believe will feel the change, because the Om is super powerful. Om, Amin, Allah Akbar, any invocation of the Lord, which is flowing with the traditional thought, has been empowered with millions of people saying Om, Amin, Allah Akbar. Millions, whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter. At a very deep subconscious level, we are all connected. We are on the same planet, so we are on the same autobus. And if a lot of people are going with that vibration, then whether we believe it or not, and whether I believe it or not, it will work. So the power of these teachings and these ancient symbols is huge, is so enormous, because it takes you towards internal harmony without regard to the external disharmony, which you have to enjoy. You cannot have a judgment that, oh my God, there was a movie made about this, etc. And that's good, that's good. There are new types of heroes. If a gay person says, I'm gay, then that person is a hero. In my time when I was growing up, Gandhi, who died with the Ram on his, was a hero. Lincoln, who always said the truth, they were the heroes. Now it's a different thing. So just go with the flow. Don't be like antagonistic to, like the next time you meet someone who's very proud, I'm lesbian or gay or hetero or whatever, say, good for you, congrats, and have a, like, really, like, congratulate you on being so brave to be able to say that you like sex with this one or that one, or what's your sexual preference. Good. It's the new normal. But if you're not, go with it. Don't have a judgment at the word. Enjoy it fully, but do not expect joy or harmony from the external world. The first lesson was, so all the lessons in the meditation class are about going deeper and deeper inside yourself to discover the true you. The world around is changing. Time, space, everything is changing. If I would say, okay, guys, this lecture, it seems to be free, but in reality, you have to pay $10 and then say, no, $20. And then after, no, I'll pay you $10. So if I'm changing my position means I'm telling a lie, right? So you wouldn't trust me. But the whole world is always changing. So the truth is something which doesn't change. But the whole world is always changing. So truth is also the base of the joy. Can never be there. You can have happiness. I am happy. I lie on the beach, on the sand. I'm happy. I have a tequila. I'm happy. I have sex. I'm happy. But not joy. You can be happy with, oh, I have 5 Ferraris or 2 homes or this or my this is this. And they are all very surface level happiness. The joy on this planet is deeply, deeply reserved for people like you and me who are seeking, not for those who have found it, not for those who have a concrete, I know God, I met God, and he was like this. If they have the answer, means they are saying this is God and everything else is not God. And we are the seekers who are seeing God in everything and everyone, inclusive of everything. Anything that your eyes can land on, anything that has happened in your life has got God in it, but in a facade, in a masquerade, let's say. So when the first lesson was focusing over in the center of the forehead, focusing on the symbol of Om and feeling the vibration of Om. And these are super strong symbols. And when, so that you understand how it works, when the mind, which is dissipated, following the eyes always, if my eyes fall on this, oh, I want this. If it falls on this, so forever having desires, our eyes fall on things. The word is endless, and then we have desires of wanting or not wanting. So the mind is unfocused. And for a lot of people, that's okay. If you're not on a journey to look for God and joy, if you're happy with happiness, then you're going to be good in this world. You're going to be doing okay and maybe even well. But if you are looking for joy, it's a different story. At some point, you will start to see that the external world is very strange. The whole world is a magic show, but it's a strange show and it's losing its balance right now. So many people are now getting suicidal. Maybe they are getting enlightened. They're feeling, oh, this world has become too much of a place. I will use the COVID to leave this planet and go to some other, but it's their choice. So the world is going through changes, and we have to make right that we have to expect joy and happiness that we expect from money, relationship, reputation, ego gratification. Those are the 3 basic things: money, sex, and reputation, that I will look good and this, that, etc. So those 3 things are keeping us. We think that they are in the external world. We look for it, but it's an illusion. And the joy is only for people who are seeking God. And when you say that God is like this, Jesus is my God, then you're saying that all the people who believe in Allah or Buddha are what? You're demeaning them. You have to understand that all the symbols of God believed in by someone are keys to your own internal godliness and divine knowledge. So when we put our focus in the center of the forehead and draw a cross or Om or the spiral of infinity, Om Namah Shivaya, or Buddha's figure or Allah, when we do that, our unfocused mind energy creates that picture, takes up that form, and when our consciousness, by taking the focus, creates that form, the attributes that the whole of humanity gives to those symbols, divine power, is activated in our brain cells, where the huge infinity is processed in our puny head. When the head gets lighted up and with the presence of, just like a candle, removing all the heaviness. Oh, I should be like this. I should be having more money. I should be having more sex. I should be having more reputation. People should be liking. Those are the three key things that most of the people go nuts for. So when these symbols are focused on over our head, drawn with the internal eye, their presence removes the heaviness in our thoughts. When there is no heavy thoughts, our heart opens up like a child's, which has still not been pressed down or covered by our prejudices, by our judgments. This is good, this is bad, this is godly like, and this is not godly like. So when everything but the presence of those symbols in our mind frees us, then our heart opens up. And we see, oh, God is there in sex also, and in the absence of sex also. And if someone has a good, if someone doesn't have good. The main reason is that the sexual energy is a powerful evolution force that has to be taken to the level of love. And then love has got to be taken to the level of grace. Grace. So that you can feel the grace of love. And grace of love initially will be reflected as sexual energy. You can take it up, you can take it down. So the symbol focus is the level. The first is the intention. The second is the initiation. The third is the vibrations of Om, Amin, Om Namah Shivaya, whichever mantra you use. The fourth was about symbols of God, about the holy knowledge that you are divine. So we go through Gita, in which in the second chapter, even if you don't read the full of it, the attributes of the Atma, which is the true you. So the external world has got no truth to it because it's changing. It's all very, very relative. But internally, there is someone, some power inside you that is looking for the truth. And that which is looking for the truth and making you spend your Saturday evening on this lecture, etc., listening to a bald Indian, that is the activation of the divine power. There is no coincidence. People who are always saying, oh, we would join in, we would join in, we would join in. They're never able to do. And there are people who never plan and then join in. And there are people who are determined. And it's a choiceless thing. That's why I don't take no thank you, because it's a mutual dance initiated by your seeking for the truth and the joy that is lacking in the external world. And a lot of you are young, anyone can get tempted and say, oh, sex is happiness, and then never attend these things. But there is a disconnect inside. So that makes us go at some point to the teachings of the soul, which was the fourth and the fifth, the attributes of the Atma. Now we are coming to a place where you have to decide on a guru. So everyone, the different reasons, the different missions that everyone has on this planet. So someone has come to help others, someone has come to become a mother. Think of it like this, that when we were dying in the previous life, we said, oh shucks, this is what I should not have done. Or this is, let's say, mother-in-law or someone abandoned a child, let's say in the Victorian England. And then they said, oh my God, I left a child. And this life that I'll adopt, then that child will be my husband, let's say. And then that husband will leave me so that I will have a full sense of what is rejection. So that I'll have a full sense. I'll understand what is rejection. So last life, I rejected someone for whatever reasons. This life, that person should be able to. But when we take up these contracts or the events in our life, we are very confident in the spiritual world. It's like we live in a 5-star hotel. Okay, I'm going for camping for 5 days. Yeah, sure. I don't want the AC. I don't want this. I don't want that. I really want to rough it out. And I'll go bungee jumping and I'll do parachute. And then when we come over out here, we start identifying with the body in which we have landed. And each body will have parents, and the parents will have a relationship, and one parent will be father figure, one will be having a mother figure. So we fall in love, we fall out of love, we look for partners who are similar or not similar to our parents, and we're still dancing around the same thing. And then we'll have our life lessons, which we have signed off. Oh, I just want a child. I don't really want a man, like, in my life. It's not such a big deal. But then we came over out here and we start taking care more and more only of our body, of our mind, which is the chauffeur of the body. And we let the mind identify, oh, this mind is me. But behind the mind is a power. And slowly we start getting to that power. So first was just the intention. And because we live in these absurd, super stupid times, in which even like the declaration that I like to have sex with people of this type or that type has become like an heroic act. And movies are being made, and the society is really concerned. Oh, who do you sleep with? Is it off from your, does that person look like you, or is different at the end of it? And you say, no, that person looks like me, because it's a self-reflection. So, or maybe in the last life you were like different sexes or whatever, but it's not a big deal. But all that focus is making us more and more guilty, because everyone has these sexual urges, and we end up, and we start thinking, also putting it against ourselves, beating us ourselves on that. How can I be enlightened? I wanted sex with Rihanna or J-Lo or Brad Pitt or someone. It's okay. Don't make a big deal of it. Don't make a big deal. Your only thing should be, the only rule in the universe is that do not hurt anyone. And even that thing is subjective. If the other person, like, again, whatever flows through me flows through a filter, which is my body, mind, and intellect. So I was in India. I went through the Asian school, where there was no such thing that there is no capital punishment or something. Like, of course, but I was hit around so much, and like everyone in India is hit in the schooling so much, that when they come out, they never ever associate pain or being beaten up with pleasure. So I was really surprised. I met a lady, and she was, first of all, she was suicidal. And okay, that happens when you are in. And then she told me that she's dominatrix. So she kicks and gives pain to people, and people pay her. And she told me that some really powerful people pay her so that she gives them pain. Anyone who has been in an Indian school in Asia would never ever pay to be for this whipping or any sort of pain. Never. We have had enough of. But in North America, because the schools are much more, etc., the mind goes, oh, I have never been really humiliated, so why not? And who is going to humiliate me? So I'm willing to pay money to. It becomes absurd, but that's what's happening. So there are people who are actually saying, give me pain and I'll give you money. And the lady was making, and the amount of money that she was making was absurd. Like, she said, can you also help me? I have $340,000 that I have saved in 2 years, cash. And I was like, I ran a business in North America for 10 years. 10,000 was the max that at the end of the month, after paying all the rent and the salaries, etc., never had this much amount of time. So I was really happy for her also, that at least these people are making a good amount of money, and unheard amount of money. I even had an investor thinking, shucks, if I was not bald, Indian, and like something else, maybe I would have walked down that path. I never know. Money is a strong energy, let's say. A lot of people would come and they would say, I want money to help the society. Maybe I would have been like that. But thankfully, when you look like me, you don't get those temptations. They are automatically by default not there. So let it be. A lot of things in my life worked out when I was also growing up, because I have to share. All the idea of being important was that you should be like a Hindi movie hero who can sing, dance, and do everything. I could do nothing, and my voice is the worst. But when I hit 55 at the end of my life, suddenly I found that my droning and boring voice is the perfect voice to put people into sleep, which we can give the twist of meditation, and then it's okay. So everything which is there is a negative. Later on in the life cycle will turn out to be positive. Don't worry about it. but the absurdity of the external world. If you are happy in the external world, you can never become spiritual. It's some disconnect is going to be. It's the reason why Buddha had to leave the comfort of a palace. He was the prince. He left the palace because he did not find joy in the life of the palace. And he's not the only one. So in the external world, if you're so happy, means there's something wrong with you. You are not really getting it that in every 42 seconds, someone is dying because they don't have any communication, they feel depressed, etc. So you have to disregard or be in the external world, but you have to go inside using first lesson 1, intent, second, symbols, Om, cross, whichever religion you believe in, third, the sounds, the mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, so that it gets into your breathing, Om Namah Shivaya, Om breathing in, Namo from your heart, Shivaya sending it out, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah, so that you can see that with every in-breath you're born, with every out-breath you die, and there is an infinity of lives in this, and there's something else apart from your body. You're coming to this body and you're leaving this body. So this body, you start to disidentify with the body. And that's your first major step towards enlightenment. And then symbols, intent, the mantras, and then we started the teachings, the attributes of the Gita, that the Atma, the true you, is eternal. It cannot be killed. It cannot be harmed. It is like change of clothes at death. And you answer, you do your best on the planet, but you leave the results to the higher self, which is also a part of you deep inside you. So towards that we are walking. Now we are in the lesson 6. And now you have to look for a guru. And don't look at me. The times of the gurus are gone. The time of the external gurus are done and gone with. I looked on the net and sometimes people send me invites here and there. Almost all the gurus, almost, there is 0.001%, are now manipulated or have become fixated on how to monetize. So it starts up like a business. So someone says, Om, looks good, talks good, and then they start working about how can they make money out of it. And the moment you are focused, or a guru or a potential guru becomes focused on monetizing these holy divine things, he or she has lost it, but it won't be visible. It will be transparent because they are going to be saying Om or things, like divine things. So the knowledge of the divine is so strong that even a faker, even people who are like me, can use it and impress the others. So my job is to have you look at me and be so inspired. If this loser guy can declare himself a guru and can have 10 people listening to him, why not me? Why not me? You have to ask yourself deeply and then declare yourself a guru for your own self. Now that is the guru inside you. But how to activate that guru? Guru is needed, someone who teaches. And for that, I'm going to be, we are going to be taking the blessings. So every time that I have a lesson, there is a picture in the background. So this divine forces have a reality to them. They have a name and face to serve humanity, because without name and face, how will someone, if you don't focus on the cross or the Om or on the symbol, how will, without having the key, you cannot unlock it? Because if I say like the Tao, it is unseen, unmentionable, indescribable. Now focus on it. How? How? The Buddhists focus only on the breathing, so that you know. And they have that description. This is a Zen description. So they focus on the breathing, and then sometimes they go beyond body and sometimes they don't. It's a 50-50. So you have to invoke the power, the blessings of the Guru. And behind me today is the picture and the blessings of Lord Dattatreya. He was one of the, rather he's supposed to be the combination of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, of the Trinity. Now, the Hindu Trinity, in reality, in physics, it's neutron, proton, electron. Everything is a combination of these three forces. Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the preserver, Shiva is the destroyer, and they're equally powerful. And whichever power you invoke, it's the Trinity is like a three-headed coin. Whichever you believe in, the other two will follow. It's not like you are breaking up. Your mind personality can take one of them as your focus point and the rest will follow. It's like you want a coin and it has got a head or a tail, but when you take the coin with the head, the tail will follow. They are not separate. It's a game. The whole of the universe is a play of the proton, neutron, and the electron. And such is your life. And in the divine world, where it is the creator has got these attributes, and the attributes we personify them as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So we can do Om Namah Shiva, we can do Ham Brahma, we can do Vasudeva, which is the name of, or Krishna, which is the name of Vishnu on the planet. And the others will follow. But it's whatever your heart feels more comfortable. And each of these has got a feminine side to it. Each one. So Shiva has got Parvati. Vishnu has got Lakshmi, abundance. But most people in India, especially, they pray to Lakshmi. Abundance means for them money, money, money. So you have to go beyond the surface. Buddha has got Saraswati. And people, when they're taking exam, will study, oh, Saraswati, please help me with my, but it is the knowledge, the divine knowledge. And Shiva has got Parvati. So Parvati is Shiva is the form of the universe. The whole universe is a reflection of Shiva. But what do you do just with the form? The energy which moves is Parvati. In each case, the feminine is the energy. And without the energy, it would be not only dull, but lifeless. So the energy that we invoke in our hearts, when we go to Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, another name for Shiva, when we get them, the feminine side of that energy is unlocked in our hearts, and that flows through us to other people, and that's how healing starts. The energy from our golden heart flowing through our hearts, or as a prayer, or as a mantra, or as an act of devotion for others. Only those people who are joyous. If you sit with the images of Brahma, Vishnu, or any mantra or prayer, but do it, I want to be rich, or I want to be enlightened, I want to be enlightened, it won't work out. You will again maybe have happiness, maybe not have happiness, but the joy is only reserved for those who live for others. Explicitly. It's not in, oh, today I declare I'm a heterosexual or a homosexual or gay or this, and I'll have more or less. Okay. It's a game in the planet, and some people maybe like, I did watch that movie, which one was that, in which they were killed and a Brokeback Mountain, etc. You have sympathy, and of course, and maybe the society is now that, hey, I'm gray, and it's become like a heroic rallying call, like it was in our times. But in India, it was Vande Mataram, or English, please, English, leave the India, and that was considered to be very heroic because you could be put in prison, etc. And now it's become, hey, like this is my sexual orientation, and it's a huge rallying call for a battle that gives us adrenaline to the society. My God, this is happening. Such a great thing. Standards have changed, maybe. Good or bad, no judgment, just enjoy. And as I was saying, it's become to a point where we have our standardized, oh, the way to enlightenment is through a guru, someone, and that person is not going to be having sex, etc. How? If sex is there on the planet, enjoy it, but the final rule is don't hurt anyone. And even that rule is up to the two of you. If one of you says, I want you to kick me in certain places and I'll pay you money and I love you for that, if the two of you decide, the universe is not going to get into it. I'm always discovering that even though I'm an Asian, there are times of when you discover. So we came to this planet to have stories. Your life is a story. My life is a story. Every life is a story. And we are the heroes and heroines of our lives. And we are the spectators also. So everyone should be feeling fulfilled. And some stories have drama, some stories have comedy, some stories have this. Other people's life is always like a comedy. Our own life seems to be like a tragedy, but other people's life is like, or you're going to be calling it, oh my God, that we just have surface knowledge. You'll think, oh, the queen was so happy, Diana was so happy, etc. And then you find out more and more that they were miserable. They had more thingies, but not happy. And when I watched the movie, I'm going to take you to another place now. I've watched if you will notice, the movies, which are basically stories of our society, changed after Tarantino. So when you go to Greece, you have Tarantino is almost as strange looking as me. But so when you go to Greece and you see everywhere drink ouza and it has got Tarantino's face on it, it's slightly surreal. But they consider him a hero. He's their national, like hero or whatever, cult symbol. And his movies are very violent and they are derivations from old, but they are very dynamic. And one of the movies that I watched, which was really presented in '95 with the Palme d'Or, which is the best movie of all time, has got a very strange scene in it. It's got like small stories, and there's one story with Bruce Willis. And Bruce Willis is going back to his house he's asked to drop a game. He's a boxer. He's asked to lose the game, but he wins it, knocks out the other guy. Now the mafia is after him. And the mafia is represented by a big, huge, dark guy, Marcellus, I think, and who has got a very solid like reputation that he's very violent. And Bruce Willis is running away from him, and they meet and they smash each other. And Bruce Willis is running away, and this guy is following him, and then they end up in a pawn shop. And they end up in the pawn shop guy says, no one is going to kill anyone. Then he takes out a gun and he says, except for men. And then he makes these two guys his sexual slaves. Okay. Now the story becomes even more weird. It did have a lot of resonance. A lot of people liked it. That's why it got the award of the best picture. And movie making changed after Pulp Fiction, just so that you know how strange our society is, because the films reflect us at a deeper level. Now, in the movie, Bruce Willis is getting away, and they bring out these two perverts, for lack of a better word, or who get their kicks in a different way than us, or maybe we also, or whatever. They take out a guy who is fully in leather, and he is a sexual slave who they have kept locked up, etc. And they take him out, and they take him out of a suit of a small, very like they show him to be locked up in almost like a suitcase or something, and they take him out, and he's all in bondage and nothing is seen. He's in bondage in every way possible, like his hands, legs, everything, and he's taken off and given freedom. And you think that this guy would be, so you would be thinking that this guy would be, now that he has the freedom, he would be free or something. And this guy is an evil SOB. He's planning to hurt Bruce Willis, etc. And it seems that he liked being put in all that, on that bondage of body, mind, and intellect. Everything was overall there. He was enjoying it in a way. And at that point, I thought, my God, there are people who really look, who really think different than me. Indians and Asians, that there is really a difference. But also I found that this guy was kept as a prisoner. I know it's a movie and it's a character, but it reflects something. Was in bondage and everything, and he's, of course, he comes out and he's happy and he still is evil. So whatever his nature was didn't change with his confinement, but he enjoyed his confinement. His name was, I think, in the movie, The Gimp. So he must have been in pain, etc., confinement, all those guys, like, doing whatever with him. But he started to enjoy the pain at some point. So at that time, when that person started to enjoy the pain, in a subtle manner, at that point, he became a guru for me. The guy was in confinement. He was beaten. He had all sorts of derogatory and demeaning things done to him. And he was laughing when he came out, and he was still evil. So if he didn't change, like he didn't come out with humility or something, oh my God, I have been like this, etc. Whatever his nature was, he retained it. So that guy or that character was a guru. So Dattatreya, the Lord represented by the three sides of the infinity, three qualities of the infinity: start and destruction, start and then medium, preservation, destruction, and creation, was walking the planet in a jungle. He doesn't really need anything, and he was joyous. Now the King Yadu, who was a king and always stressed, because we think that the kings have so much, but they are miserable people. I told you once more that when I watched The Crown, I was struck by how miserable the queen is. She can never ever express an opinion. So we just think, oh, kings and etc., these guys. And 2 months ago, the king of Norway committed suicide. And he had a supermodel as a ex-wife, had a supermodel right now and all that. And he committed suicide. He was 48. So we have to understand that these kings, etc., because they have so many and they always have a paranoia. Imagine you are a king and you have absolute power, but you are so afraid you can't even have an ice cream or anything. You have to have someone eat it and then, have it tasted, and you can't take it directly, etc. Even then you are afraid. You might have to, maybe the poison will take 10 minutes, etc. So you're always stressed. So most of the kings are obese, unhealthy, and 99% of the kings have a history of unnatural violent deaths, and they knew it. So that's why they created these castles, etc., to isolate themselves, but no king was ever safe. 99% of the kings always had a violent. And we always say, I want to be a prince, I want to be a queen. Prince ultimately becomes a king. So Dattatreya was walking in the forest, the personification of God on the planet, and he had nothing. But he was joyous, and the king met him. He was going hunting and he saw that this guy is so joyous. And the king Yadu was struck. Me, I have absolute power and I'm miserable. And this guy is so happy. I am the king with absolute power, with all the comforts that those times allowed. And I'm miserable. And this guy has got nothing. He's in the forest and he's singing songs joyously. You can make out when someone is joyous. Okay. So the king invited him and went to him and was begging, please, please, please share with me the secret of your joy. I am the king. I have the most than anyone else on this part of the planet. And I do not have any joy. So Dattatreya said, it's very easy. I'm enlightened. I don't really care for I'm on this planet. I'm on this earth. I enjoy it, but I'm not really deeply attached to it. One of the analogies is I'm like a lotus. which is on the water, touches water, which is the word, but is not really sinking in the water. It's okay if the boat of your consciousness is on the water, but if water is in the boat, then it's a difference. So you're in the world, but if the worldly things, I want these things to be happy, are getting inside you, then that's water in your boat. You have to leave it out. You come for a class in meditation to become a healing guru. Slowly you are letting off all your attachments. So the king, Dattatreya should have it. How can I become a king? Instead, the other way around. You have to be like that Dattatreya, and you have that. And Dattatreya says, no, I don't really need anything. So the king again asks, share with me. How in a forest, how did you get to this knowledge that you are so joyous? That's a valid question. So Dattatreya says, I have gurus. And the king is struck because he's like most of us. You have a guru? Tell me the name. I'll go to him and I'll pay him money and this and that. And I'll learn the teachings from him, the mystic art and this and that. And Dattatreya says, hold on. I don't have one. I have 24 of them. He said, so that's why you're so powerful. You have got 24 gurus. That's why you're so powerful, etc. And Dattatreya says, no. He gives a list. He says, the first guru is earth on which I walk. I learn tolerance from it. Okay. The earth maintains, does never say, oh, I'm keeping you up and you are black or white or this. It maintains, it supports everyone unconditionally. So that's my first guru. Okay. Then the wind, which is flowing around. It brings oxygen in as we understand it now. But itself doesn't remain anywhere. It's not stuck to anything. I'm the wind. It would be defeating the definition of wind. So it's always moving freely. The king says, okay. Then he said, look at the sky above. All pervading. Everywhere. But still it doesn't touch anything. It doesn't own anything. So it's okay. But look at there's a river. The water is flowing. Say yes. Look at how the water is always pure. Anything which is impure sinks in it, and then water purifies everything. So that's my fourth guru. Okay. And he said, look at the moon. Yeah, what about the moon? So the moon is always decreasing and increasing in shape and size. It is always the moon. It always recovers. Okay, so now he says, okay, these are the elements basically as you get it. And he says the sun. And the sun is burning for others. The fire, which it is full of self-knowledge and shining bright, just like in your hearts right now. Okay. And he said, look at the forest. Look at the spider. It creates a web, a word, and then it assimilates it back and goes on again. So Dattatreya lists to the king a list of 24 gurus. Earth, tolerance. Wind, dispassion. The sky, stillness. Water, purity. Fire, that I know myself. I am burning and lighted up in my own knowledge. And then it gives a very strange one. It says, Guru. So Guru is being named over out here. One of the ultimate gurus that Dattatreya tells him in the list is prostitute. Said her name was Pingala. And one day, even the prostitute fell in love with the king, with the prince rather. And she was waiting for him. And he didn't show up. And suddenly the prostitute got enlightened. He says, to hell with this guy. I've been waiting for this dude and he's not nowhere there. And I'm suffering. For what? This dude who sees in me only my body. I've got 9 holes. Anything that comes out of any of these holes means that is what is inside me. is not really worthy of being treated with respect. Nothing that comes out of the nose, mouth, or the other places, or sweat, or the other grosser things. None of them is really, he doesn't really appreciate it, or doesn't really. I'm the factory of these things. And I'm pining for this man who sees me only as that. So at that moment, the prostitute Pingala became enlightened and became Guru for Dattatreya. The moment she said, I do not need the other person to feel the joy in my heart, she became enlightened. And so are you becoming enlightened by listening to this story and accepting that the prostitute can be a guru. Everything and anything in your life that shakes you is a guru, is a teacher. So you have to accept that, and your whole life you have to respect, no matter what is happening. Whether Trump says, yes, now I have lost, or doesn't say lost. Whether Biden does anything, he's senile, he can do anything. So anyone, anything, whatever happens in the external, whether it becomes really like, as I was saying, oh, I am gay, and that becomes even more heroic, like tomorrow is the people who are going to be discovering that they're gay, and they're given awards for bravery. Well, so be it. So be it. Have blessing, enjoy everything, enjoy all the things which are happening on the planet. But be fully cognizant that the joy inside you is divine. And to go that, today is the 6th lesson. The first lesson was the intent to be one with the divine, communion, or to achieve communion. So you start walking towards the divinity, but instead of going out, we are going in. So the first is the intent. Then focusing on the center of your forehead or in the center of your heart and seeing the cross, Om, Buddha, the spiral of Om Namah Shivaya. Second. Third, the sound, the mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, Ameen, Allahu Akbar, our Father in heaven, whichever prayer you like. So the sound, and then you're breathing in Om Namah Shivaya. You're breathing, so you can see that your body is something to which the energy comes and you leave. So that's your fourth. And then fourth and the fifth have got the attributes of the Atma, that the Atma, the real inhabitor behind this body, mind, just your style of thinking, and intellect, you're hard-coded, rock solid, this is good and this is bad, that part of intellect. Behind that, there is a golden light, and your head and heart are like a mirror. So when your head doesn't have any thoughts, and we were working towards that, even for sex, to not have any negative thoughts, that sex and enlightenment are two different things. What would be the point of being enlightened if you're totally going to go dry? Doesn't make sense. If you have to have wine, if you have to have any joy, or rather happiness, have it, because the stress, let's say, I was talking that the prostitute is also a source of enlightenment. Supposing there were no prostitutes on the planet, and then you have all these people with very low self-esteem paying for relationship, and they don't have that outlet, then there will be even more suicides, or even maybe serial killers. So bless even the prostitutes. Thank you that you are releasing their stress, and if you are taking money for it, so be it. It's not your life. Both of them have got very deep-rooted self-awareness and self-assessment issues, but if that's the part that they are playing on the planet, don't have any judgment. Just don't follow that path, because I've met with some of them, they had a lot of money, but suicidal, because not the universe, but we judge ourselves that maybe I'm giving out what could be love, but people just want sex. And that whole cynicism around it, that I want to be dealing in love and communications, and I'm ending up just with raw sex, demeaning animal-like sex. And then whatever your style of life and thinking will affect your style of thinking. Whatever your thinking is will affect your self-awareness. Your level of self-awareness will make you more and more focused on the impure and not the true you. Not the true you is the you that you associate with your body, mind, and intellect. The you. That is a sense that you have that, okay, my body, which I inhabit, I should be living for the joy of this body, this mind, just whatever thoughts are flowing, and my intellect, my style of thinking. These things are very important. So if anyone tells me, oh, I don't like the blue color that you're wearing, immediately we are defensive and we start almost hating the other guy. It's okay. It's just something that my body is wearing. Nothing. And maybe I even share your view. Doesn't matter. But we make these things into prestige points because we are so insecure ourselves. We let other people become gurus by hurting us. So start recognizing that anyone who has hurt us is a guru. Anyone and anything that has hurt us financially, morally, physically, has made us the spiritual beings that we are right now, that on a Saturday evening, you are forced to listen to a bald Indian guy. So why? Because the teachings that are flowing through me and to all of you, it's a game. It just looks as if it's flowing through me, but it's flowing through each one of us. There is no hierarchy. We are in the same damn autobus that we call Earth. It doesn't matter where anyone is sitting. The autobus is going at the same pace, taking us to the same place. We all have the same level, but our differences are in our heads. In our hearts, when we have no judgments from the head, then the heart is going to be clear. So just right now, feel the mantra of the Guru, the ability to see anything and everyone that you judge or you felt has hurt you. Those are the things that have made us spiritual. By acknowledging that you are Guru, you are divine, you have taught me a lesson, we are able to take care of our rejections. I'm in between jobs. My day starts off with rejections in the emails I get every day in the morning. Even today is a Saturday. Why would a headhunter send me a rejection note today if they don't respond? I get it that my candidate didn't get through for various reasons. It's okay. But they have, the whole of North America has a closer fixation. No, we must close this. No, you don't have to. Like, I already noticed that you haven't responded, and or I'm not getting the job. Why do you have to send me a letter that you're going to be keeping my profile active and we are sorry, we are moving on and all that? So it's a rejection. But if I don't laugh at the rejection, then it will mess and create a disharmony in me, because my judgment will be at something. I wanted this job, but how do I know if the universe is saving me from burning ourselves? Because we are all looking for jobs, but in a job, in an artificial environment for some money, 8 hours a day, you are in an environment where everyone is going to be having a boss. The boss is also a person, but in that rarefied and artificial office space, that person will show that he or she is better than you. And you might have tons of such people, and they're all going to be in this artificial world. They are all supposed to be knowing more and this, etc. And they are going to be, and they don't take the spirituality classes. Most of them don't. So the universe is total love, but it will show up as rejection and hurt at a level of body, mind, intellect. But at a level of heart, The universe is total love. Yes, it's not giving us as much sex as we want, as much money as we want, as much as reputation as our psyche, our insecure self inside us wants. But the golden hearted light, fired with the mantra of Om Dattatreya Guru, Om Dattatreya Guru, Om Dattatreya Guru, Om. Close your eyes gently and get this power. Get this power to see everything and everyone that has hurt you, not hurt you, as a total guru, as a teacher. Be a total student, full of humility in front of the universe, knowing that the universe can only hurt you for your own greater good. And the universe is composed of what? The earth, which is always supporting you. So you say from now on, I'm going to be learning from the earth the power to support everything and everyone endlessly to infinity. I'm going to be like the wind, free of attachments to anything and everyone, because everything is changing. My only attachment is to the true golden power inside me, the eternal Atma power, soul power inside me, in the deepest part of my heart. Om Dattatreya Guru, Om Dattatreya Guru. The sky is my Guru, covering me, pervading everywhere, humble and not touching anything, yet everywhere. So is my soul. So learn to be like the sky. It lets the clouds go through and here and there. The clouds can be dark, your thoughts can be golden, but the sky is eternal. And you discover that inside, that stillness of the sky inside yourself. You learn from water how always to purify others, how always to flow. Anything that touches you becomes clean. Your personality is now changing. Your heart power is learning from the water. You are like the moon, which wanes and waxes, changes in shape, just like you are a baby, now you are old, tomorrow you will have a different, but the moon is the same and always recovers and always shining in the night for others. And the fire is deep inside you. Agni, the fire is burning of your own self-knowledge that I am pure, complete, whole. I'm enjoying the universe, but in the light of my self-awareness, I acknowledge the whole world to be my guru, my teacher. But I'm no less than. An awakened soul is no less than the guru. And you're learning from the guru to focus on the fire in your heart. Divine fire in your heart which connects you to everything and everyone. Om Dattatreya Guru. Om Dattatreya Guru. And now you have no judgments. Know that in the most holiest of the all festivals in India, in the Durga festival, the Durga is the feminine energy of the Shiva, the most potent, the god of meditation. When her statue is made during the festive season, everyone in every street almost, they collect around and make a statue of the goddess Durga in the city of Calcutta. And then after a week, they take it to Ganga and they drown it, and they also let go of all their pain, fear, angers. Every year this happens. So when they are making that clay statue, the earth has to come from a house of a prostitute to show that the feminine energy in every form is divine. Have no judgments at anyone. Om Dattatreya Guru. Start to accept everything as a teacher with humility, with a laughing, smiling heart. What do children do in a school? Once the class is finished, they smile and they are happy and they have a good time. So have that joy of being self-awakened, that everything that has ever hurt you or touched you or changed you in any way is a divine guru, is a divine teacher. Discover the true guru, the teacher inside yourself, and awaken your own divinity with the mantra Om Dattatreya Guru. The ability to see teacher, God, divine learning in everything and everyone, in rejection, in pain, in being alone, in losing money, reputation, losing being alone, in all of these things. See the divine teacher, and then you will be able to manage your life no matter what happens with grace, with harmony inside you. You will be able to fulfill your mission of living for others. That's the only heroic thing you have to do. Om Namo Shiva. Breathe in Om. Let this energy of Om entering your body through the nose drop to your heart where it explodes with joy. Namo, not you. Shivai. Dissolve, 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 dissolve. Shiva. Om Namo Shiva. Om Namo Shiva. Om Namo Shiva. Om Namo Shiva. And as you dissolve your body, mind, and intellect, we all become one golden heart. We send love to Boris for his health issue. We send to Catherine for her insecurity so that she feels totally secure. We send to Diana. So just keep on sending from your heart love to Diana so that she is able to manage the next 2 months. So that Dula feels more and more secure and self-aware. Galia's health issues in the head are resolved. Heather has got health issues in liver and lower spine are resolved, or at least we get the power to manage them. Jay has got some relationship issues for the last 2 years. Jean's path of worries for her grandchildren are resolved and self-awakening is happening. George has got a year ago some huge disconnect and rejection. All those things. Julia's new stress in the new form of life is resolved with all the new relatives and all that. Marina's housing problems are resolved. Morgan, Misty, and their friend, all their issues, they are all young. And everyone has got almost 2 years and 2.5 years. Some sort of relationship issues are resolved. Misty has got also relationship issues. They are all resolved. As you discover and create your relationship with the true you, the golden power in you, your external world issues are resolved at a spiritual level, and then slowly it will show up in your personality also. Preeti's issues are resolved in relationship. So every time that I say a name, the intent is that everyone else send a golden thought to them. Rita's health issues are resolved. Sarah has got insecurities for 2 years, 18 months for 18 months, some sort of insecurity, and that is resolved. Shala has got health issues also resolved. Sweta is looking for path of awakening and feeling stuck, that is resolved. Zarina is going through a relationship change and job stress, that is resolved. Om Namah. So everyone is sending love to everyone else, but I'm going to be creating now partnerships. So you are, as healer, it is very easy now to have a golden heart, but it's very difficult to find someone who trusts you to send them love. So Zarina and Sweta are going to be sending to each other. Shahla and Sara are going to be sending love to each other. Rita and Preeti are going to be sending, you send love, golden love from your heart, and you receive it also. Olga and Morgan and their 2 more, all of them are sending love to each other. Marina and Julia, Jorge and Jean, Jay and Heather, Galia and Dula, Diana and Catherine, Boris and Catherine also. So, and I'm going to be working with every one of you. Om Namo Shivaya Boris. Om Namo Shivaya Catherine. Om Namo Shivaya Diana. Om Namo Shivaya Dula. Om Namo Shivaya Galia. Om Namo Shivaya Heather. Om Namo Shivaya Jay. Om Namo Shivaya Jean. Om Namo Shivaya Jorge. Om Namo Shivaya Julia. Om Namo Shivaya Marina. Om Namo Shivaya Morgan. Om Namo Shivaya Misty. Om Namo Shivaya Third. Om Namo Shivaya Olga. Om Namo Shivaya Preeti. Om Namo Shivaya Rita. Om Namo Shivaya Sarah. Sahala, Sweta, Zarina, and also to Sophia. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om. And we are also sending love to Elvin, who is recovering. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Olga and Luda, who wanted to join but couldn't. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. And slowly feel that these blessings are flowing through you without your participation. You are just giving your body, mind, and intellect for the higher power of love to flow through you, cleaning you and reaching the other person. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. And in the fire that I'm holding, our individual pain in the heart, the doubts in the head, the fears in the kidney, the anger in the liver, the stress in the spine and the shoulders is released so that our heart can shine like a golden light. Om Namah Shivaya. Your face has a smile, your heart has a smile. Each and every part of your body has a smile on it. Each and every brain cell where there is a memory of your past life, previous life, future life, this life is full of joy, joy, joy. As you are sending love to others, you are receiving love also, and you're full of joy. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Shivaya. And let there be harmony in your life. Stopping the recording. If you have any questions, you can